Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. For this episode, I'm going to be speaking on what it takes to survive in prison. Now, this is 110% my opinion. Everybody's opinion isn't going to be the same. To me, to survive inside of prison, I know a lot of people first quarter are going to be like, oh, you got to be big, you got to be strong, you got to be physically fit. As much as that can help you, being athletic, being whatever, even trained in certain things from boxing to MMA, that doesn't mean that you're going to survive inside of prison. You could be the hottest, bumping, biggest dude on the yacht and someone puts metal in your neck and now you're gone. To me, the most important thing when it comes to surviving in prison is having a strong mentality. Because the realities of what you're going through is what is going to break you first. You're not going to be broken when the dude runs up to you with the big knife or the other guy walks up with the honey bun and says you look cute. That isn't what's going to break you. What's going to break you is reception. What's going to break you is the prison wire, the razor wire, the fences, the cages. Realizing where the fuck you are and how long you're going to be here for is what is going to break you if your mentality is not on point. If you have not accepted what is actually happening in your life, that you are no longer in control of what goes on. If little things, like let's say you grew up like me, you moved around a lot, you always switched schools, you were always the new kid in a school. You were uncomfortable with situations like that. You were uncomfortable having to meet new people and always having to move and be in new places. You are going to get over all that bullshit. If you're shy, if you were the kid in the locker room that couldn't get changed, none of that matters when you get to prison because you will listen. You will do what they tell you to do. You are going to strip ass naked your first 60 seconds at a reception center. You are going to be walking into dorms, prison cell blocks, 90 people staring back in your face and you're the new guy. And everyone's looking at you. Everybody's going to want to see what type of impression you're going to make. Is your head held high? Are you looking scared and timid? All of these things matter, and all of these things play a part with your mentality. Are you ready for this shit? Are you ready to accept what lies ahead? Your introduction to these COs, they're going to be screaming at you, degrading you, cussing you out. And if you get them confused with the county COs that you had, they're going to beat the dog shit out of you and show you what prison is about. You're going to be beat the fuck up, put into confinement, gassed. You're going to be starved on your food trays. Prison is one of the biggest culture shocks you can ever go through. If you've never been poor, you're going to understand what it's like to be poor. If you've never dealt with police brutality, you will experience it when you go to prison, whether it's you yourself or seeing someone else getting the shit knocked out of them by COs. But to truly understand surviving in prison, you have to truly understand every which way you can become a victim. Of course, you have being raped, being extorted, being stabbed, and those are the big things that everyone's worrying about. So a lot of people come up with this idea that, okay, when I get in there, I'm going to get a knife, and the first one that tries me, I'm going to wet them up. I'm going to wet them up in front of everyone. Everyone's going to see what I did. They're going to be scared of me. They're not going to want to fuck with me. They don't understand that you may not have seen someone get stabbed before. You may not have watched somebody bleed out and die before. But the people that have already been in prison have seen it. That doesn't impress them. Because there's a certain percentage of them that have done it the damn self. There's a certain percentage of people around you that have killed multiple people. And there's a percentage of people around you that are better with a knife than you. So if you think you're just going to walk up and stab someone that's been down 20 years, like he doesn't know how to move, like he doesn't already have a knife wrapped around his hand, tied to his wrist so it doesn't fall, he knows what the fuck he's doing. You don't. So take that idea out of your head, because if you just walk up and catch a body in front of everyone, you didn't mean to, but you hit him in a spot that had an artery and he starts bleeding the fuck out everywhere. Now he's dead. Now you caught a body in prison. You're not beating it because you wanted everyone to see what you could do. You just became a victim to the system. You didn't survive prison. You just made prison a permanent thing in your life. Now you're not getting out. Now you got a life sentence or an extension between 20 to 30 fucking years for a murder inside of prison. So you really need to understand and have this strong mentality. You can't base your move off of another man's move. To survive in prison, you have to break down what you will and will not stand for. You have to understand your own set of morals, your own rules and regulations. If you're gangbanging, they're already written out for you. If you're a neutron, you need to come up with that. You need to come up with, who will I hang around? Because who you are around will have an impression on the people that are looking at you. If they see you around drug users, you're going to be thought of as a drug user. If they see you around the drug dealers, you're going to be thought of as a hustler. If you're around the gang members, they're going to think you're around them either because you're one of them or you're being extorted by them or being used by them. If you're with the gamblers, sometimes that can be seen as problematic because people owe money and don't want to pay. Somebody might be in their pride and their feelings. They don't want to pay. Somebody might run up and rob the poker table. Now everyone's looking at you. What are you going to do, Mr. Neutron? You don't gangbang. How are you going to survive this situation? You could simply walk away, go in your cell and be looked at as soft by everyone else. Or you could go and handle your business with the guy that just robbed this table. Is he going to fight? Most likely not, because who the fuck robs people in prison without a weapon? So he's strapped up. You know what it comes with. You know how you got to go handle that. Are you willing to do so to survive inside of prison? A strong mentality is the understanding that nobody is telling you how to do your time. It is your time and you make that decision. You do not move to impress other people to exceed their expectations. You move on your own time. And if I had that mentality, if I wasn't trying to impress people and trying to have this fucking image, I possibly would have never went to prison, because the majority of my worst decisions came from trying to impress others. Others that never even bothered to fucking write me when I went to prison. Others that were not checking up on me or my family. So what are you going to do inside of prison? Are you going to impress the people that you're around that possibly are never going home, but they just want to see violence because that's the expectation that they have for you coming into prison? I stabbed someone, I want to see you do it. I'm bored. Ain't shit on TV today. Go wet them up. What are you going to do? Are you going to impress them? I had a kid that came onto my show, and this kid, he did what he did. He was under protection. He paid for protection. He broke it off, whichever way you want to view it. But to him, he survived because he avoided all physical conflicts. He had the understanding, I'm not coming into prison because I want to gangbang. I'm in prison because I fucked up. I don't want to make this a permanent place. I don't want to be here stuck for the rest of my life. Now he's out, he's married, he's got a house, he's living his life. He survived prison. But it came down to his mentality. It came down to, how far are you willing to go? Being yourself is the only option if you want to minimize the amount of bullshit you get into inside of prison. Acting like something you're not or trying to become something you weren't, it's going to be difficult for you, because if you're pretending to be something, it's going to get figured out. People are going to realize exactly what it is you're trying to pretend to be, and there's going to be repercussions for that. So you have to be ready for those repercussions. Becoming something you weren't, you got people that go into prison that were not violent but have to become violent. They have to adapt. I wasn't cutting people on the street. I wasn't hitting people with fucking locks and socks. Being yourself, you may not be cut out for prison in the eyes of other people, but I guarantee you it will minimize the amount of bullshit you go through. Surviving in prison is something that happens on a day-to-day basis. You need to focus on today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. You need to push yourself through whatever it is that is making you want to snap, that's making you want to lash out, that's making you want to fold and to crumble. The number one thing I'm always told, I don't know how you made it. I don't know how you survived it. I don't know how you did it. Whether it's talking about getting cut, whether it's talking about just the brutal shit going on, of being in a cell where I can touch both walls when I reach out. How did you make it? How did you get through it? I didn't have a fucking option. I couldn't tap out. I couldn't get out. I had to understand there's no escape. But this also isn't permanent. I wasn't given life. I wasn't given 10 years or better. I was given 36 months Florida State Prison. And I have to take this shit day by day and understand that no matter what I go through, I have a release date. I have to secure that release date. I have to make sure that none of my decisions inside of prison extend that date. I hope that listening to this video and other videos that I have and other people's experiences and even other prison channels, you're able to gain knowledge and insight. And you're able to apply that knowledge into your life. I could have kept myself out of prison. And if you can learn and understand what I know now, you'll never have to worry about would I survive inside of prison. Because you will have built that strong mentality that I didn't have. Unaffected by other people's influence. And you'll make choices that will only lead to progress in life. And that's what this shit is all about. Fuck prison. Nobody wants to be in there. I'm just sharing my experience and hoping that something positive comes out of it. But hey, it's 1090 J. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. Till next time.